Hi all. I gave birth 4 weeks ago, and my partner and I decided to have a baby ceremony where everyone gets to meet our lovely daughter Charlotte. It was such a special moment for us as new parents, and we were excited to introduce her to all our family and friends. My cousin Nurul and her parents were among the guests. Now, the first thing I need to explain about Nurul is that she has extremely expensive taste. She's the sort of person who has a minimum price range for how much she spends on clothing. She doesn't own anything that isn't designer and has some items of clothing that cost thousands of pounds. She works as a banker and still lives with her parents, so she can definitely afford this lifestyle. Everything she wears is meticulously chosen and costs more than most people's monthly rent. The ceremony was going wonderfully. Everyone was taking turns holding Charlotte, cooing over her and taking photos. The atmosphere was warm and celebratory, exactly what we had hoped for. When it came to Nurul's turn to hold the baby, she seemed happy to do so at first. She was smiling, talking to Charlotte in that sweet voice people use with babies, and everything seemed perfectly normal. But then, suddenly, and without warning, Charlotte vomited all over her. It happened so quickly that none of us could react in time. One moment, everything was fine, and the next moment, there was baby vomit all down the front of Nurul's pristine designer blouse. Nurul immediately handed Charlotte back to me and ran off crying. She spent the rest of the entire event crying in the car outside, refusing to come back in. I felt terrible about what had happened, so I went outside to see her and apologize, but she didn't want to hear any of it. She was completely inconsolable and kept saying how humiliated she felt. My mum tried to help by giving her one of her own shirts to change into, but it was too big for Nurul, and she felt even more upset and humiliated by having to wear ill-fitting clothes. The whole situation really put a damper on what was supposed to be a joyful celebration. Other guests were asking what happened, and the mood became quite awkward. Nurul eventually left early with her parents, still visibly upset. I thought that would be the end of it. But today, I got a call from my mum that changed everything. She told me she'd been on the phone with her sister, who is Nurul's mum. Apparently, they want me to reimburse the cost of the blouse since it was completely ruined by the vomit and couldn't be cleaned or salvaged. When my mum told me the amount they were asking for, I nearly dropped the phone. The blouse cost roughly £1,800. £1,800 for a single piece of clothing that she chose to wear to a baby ceremony. I immediately said no. I understand that Nurul is upset about losing such an expensive item, and I do feel bad for her on a human level. Nobody wants their expensive clothes ruined, and I can imagine how frustrating that must be. But at the end of the day, we all know what babies can be like. They're unpredictable little creatures who spit up, vomit, and have accidents without any warning. That's just part of being around babies. She made the conscious decision to wear something so incredibly expensive while knowing she would be around a newborn baby. She took that risk, and unfortunately for her, it backfired. I don't think it's fair to hold me financially responsible for her choice to wear such an expensive item to a baby-focused event. It's not like I forced her to hold Charlotte or deliberately caused the incident to happen. The whole situation has caused tension in our family, with some people taking sides. But I maintain that this was an accident and not my fault. Am I doing the right thing by refusing to pay up?